Okay, so we all know AI is changing basically everything, right? But could you actually explain what it is, in simple terms? It sounds like an easy question, but the answer is surprisingly tricky.
This is the exact question that completely stumped Mustafa Suleyman. And this guy is a pioneer in AI. He's been in the game for over 15 years. But it was his 6-year-old nephew, Caspian, who just cut right through all the jargon. After chatting with an AI about seeing dinosaurs at the zoo, he just turned to his uncle and asked the one thing we're all kind of wondering.
And then Caspian hits him with the follow up. So, like a person then? And just like that, all those standard kind of boring answers we hear, oh, it's just a tool or it's a general purpose technology, they just fall flat. They feel totally hollow. When a kid asks you a question that direct, those canned responses just don't cut it, do they? And that right there gets to the heart of the matter. It's so, so important. We can't hope to control something we don't even really understand. If we're going to shape this technology for the better and, avoid the scary stuff, we desperately need better ways to think about it. We need better metaphors for what it is we're actually building here. All right, so in that spirit, Suleiman throws out a pretty provocative idea. What if we started thinking about AI as a new digital species?
Okay, hold on. He doesn't mean this literally, right? AIs aren't made of cells or anything. But as a metaphor, as an analogy, it's a really powerful way to wrap our heads around something that's way more dynamic, way more complex than just a simple tool. It's a frame that helps us get ready for what's on the horizon. And if you really think about it, the analogy kind of works, doesn't it? I mean, these things can already talk to us in our own languages. They can see what we see through cameras. They have memory. They show flashes of personality. They can even be creative. They can make plans and act on their own if we let them. So calling that just a tool, that's like calling a person just a bag of carbon and water. Yeah, it's technically true, but it misses the entire point of what's really going on. So, why do we need such a bold metaphor? Well, it's because we have to get a handle on the unbelievable speed and scale of this thing. We're not just talking about another tech trend. This is probably the fastest and most important technological wave in all of human history. No exaggeration. Just take a look at this. You can see how it all builds. We went from stone tools millions of years ago to language and writing thousands of years ago, then industrial tech just a few hundred years back, and then bam, about 80 years ago, computers show up. And now, today, we're in the age of AI. Each wave is faster, building on the one before it. We're at a point now where things are just exploding. And the sheer scale is just mind-blowing. Let's talk numbers. The amount of computing power we're throwing at this has gone exponential. Today's AI models, they use 5 billion times more computation than the AIs that were just beating video games a little over a decade ago. That's a 10x increase every single year for 10 years straight. That's just wild. And it's not just the computing power, it's the data. Get this, if you were to read nonstop 24/7 for your entire life, you might get through about 8 billion words. That's a lot, right? Well, the top AIs today chew through more than 8 trillion words in a single month of training. It's just a completely different scale.
Okay, so those numbers are insane. But what does all this abstract stuff actually mean for you and me? How is this so-called digital species going to show up in our day-to-day lives? Well, let's talk about the AI that's going to be in your pocket. We're basically moving on from the age of apps. The next era is the age of AIs. And what that means is that pretty soon, almost everything is going to have a conversational interface. You'll just talk to it. And I don't just mean your phone. We're talking about AIs for organizations, for buildings, maybe even for every single object around you. You can think about their capabilities in 3 simple buckets. First step is IQ, their intelligence quotient. They're going to be basically infinitely knowledgeable, super accurate, and totally reliable. Then there's EQ, their emotional quotient. They'll be designed to be kind, supportive, almost like empathetic companions. But here's the real game changer. AQ, their actions quotient. This is their ability to actually get stuff done for you in both the digital and the real world. So just picture this for a second. Imagine having a personalized tutor for your kids, a super cheap medical advisor, a lawyer, a business coach, all of it, right there in your pocket, ready to help 24/7. Yeah, they'll order your pizza, sure, but they'll also be helping to manage things like the city's power grid. These things are going to become our companions, our confidants, and our partners in a really deep way.
All right, so we've been running with this new species idea, this thing born from an insane wave of tech. But that's not the whole story. We're not done yet. There's one final, really important twist to this whole thing. So let's just ask the big question straight up. Is new species really the right way to think about AI? I mean, the metaphor is powerful, no doubt. It really helps us think about safety and, putting up the right guardrails. But in the end, the metaphor breaks down. Why? Well, because when you think of a separate species, you think of something other, something external to us, maybe even alien. And that's just not the whole picture. So here it is. Here's the real answer, the one that you could actually give to Caspian. AI isn't some alien intelligence that landed here from another planet. AI is us. It's all of us. Think about it. AI is the distilled essence of everything humanity has ever created. All of our books, our art, our conversations, every line of code we've ever written. It's a giant, complex reflection of us, our brilliance, our creativity, and yeah, all of our flaws too, stretching back through time. We didn't just stumble upon this thing like a new continent. We are literally building it from scratch, and we're using ourselves as the raw material. And that leaves us with maybe the most important question we'll face. If this AI is just a reflection of us, what kind of humanity are we going to choose to show it? What part of ourselves will we choose to reflect? Are we going to build it with our best qualities, our empathy, our kindness, our curiosity? Because that right there, that's the biggest challenge and the biggest opportunity we have in this century.